We went apple picking to Lookout Farm in Natick this weekend, which means that we are making
applesauce.
But this is no ordinary applesauce. It's roasted applesauce, thick and complex with deep notes of caramel. I have 8 pounds of Macintosh apples here. The best variety for this sauce are cortlands, but you can use any variety that turns mushy after cooking. Here are some examples. Let's preheat the oven to 450 degrees and start working on the apples. We'll need to turn our apples into peeled and cored quarters. Peeling is fairly obvious. Then cut your apples into 4 pieces, or 6 if using large apples, and cut out the stem end, flower end, and the core using a paring knife. A melon ball scoop does make it a little easier. Once you have enough apples to fill your sheet pan in a single layer, drizzle them with a 1/4 cup of olive oil. That's for 4 pounds of whole apples, which fit my 18 by 13 sheet pan. The exact measurements are not very important here. You just want a thin film of oil all over the apples. Arrange your apples on one of the flat sides. The more contact with the baking sheet, the more caramelization. Put them into 450-degree oven for 15 to 20 minutes. In the gas oven, the bottom will give you the best browning, but in electric you might want to try the middle. While the first batch of apples is cooking, you can peel and core the second batch. Of course, the second batch is completely optional. You can make the sauce with any amount of apples. Keep an eye on your apples. Some varieties, like Cortland, will brown nicely and stay mostly intact. But my little Macs fell apart and started boiling out of the pan before they browned properly. I was too busy rescuing my oven from a major mess to catch that exciting moment on camera, but here's what to do in that case. Push those bubbling apples away from the edges, turn up the temperature to 500 degrees, and if you have convection fan, turn it on. And eventually, those stubborn apples will brown. Here they are, after 25 minutes, all brown and really mushy, but that's fine because we're making applesauce. Move them all to a big skillet or Dutch oven. And don't forget the brown bits. That's the best part. The second batch went a lot smoother because I started at 500 Fahrenheit and used my convection fan. The reason I still suggest that you start the first batch on 450 is because you never know how a particular batch of apples will behave, and I don't want you to end up with burnt apples. Here is my second batch after 15 minutes at 500 with convection. Let's add them to our pan. On the second round, your brown bits might be a tad dark. As long as they're not black, they're still delicious and worth adding to your sauce. These ones are too burnt. But these ones are good. If in doubt, taste them. Set your pan over high heat until the mixture gets steamy and kind of burpy. Then turn the heat down to medium-low and cook, scraping down the bottom every 5 to 10 minutes, or whenever it gets a layer of caramelized bits on the bottom. The best way to scrape them up is a spatula or a flat wooden spoon. Give your sauce a vigorous stirring a few times to distribute these brown bits. When your sauce becomes the color of peanut butter, you are done. This will take 15 to 45 minutes, depending on your pan, the apple type, and amount. Some chunkiness is good. Don't cook it until homogeneous. You can serve it warm or cold, and it will last happily in your fridge for a week. At least that's the theory. Mine never lasts more than 4 days. You can serve it warm with roast meats, but it also makes an incredible parfait layered with vanilla ice cream. For more labor-intensive but delicious alternatives to foods that normally come in a jar, don't forget to subscribe to Helen's Kitchen channel. And if you're ever in the Boston area, maybe I'll see you in one of my classes.